Hello, comic collectors. It's Vin Crew back with part two of my Treasury showcase. This will focus on Marvel and miscellaneous treasuries. Got a lot to get through again, so I'm not going to waste a lot of time on these. But whereas DC treasuries were broken into five different groups of books, Marvel was broken into four main groups. The first one is the original 28. They started in 1974, and it started off with this one right here, the Spectacular Spider-Man. This one reprinted Spider-Man 8, 14, 42, 90, Annual 1, as well as Marvel Superheroes 14. Came out in 1974. Now, there are some versions of this. I think there's a limit of 1,000 of them that were actually signed. I don't own that one, but still, nonetheless. All right. Issue number 2. These didn't have letters in front of them, but this one was one of my originals. A lot of these Marvels are my originals, but this one is number 2. It came out in 74 also. It's Fantastic Four, which it reprints FF 6, 11, 48, 49, 50. It also, the cover is by Romita and Sanat. And it has a 2-page family pinup in here. Let's see if I can find that. Here's the back cover. There we are right there. That's pretty cool right there. Still in 1974. This is number 3. This is Thor. It reprints Journey into Mystery 125 and Thor 126 through 130. It's a 2-page pinup by John Buscema, and the cover is by Romita. And there's that. And there's the back cover. Let's see if we can find the pinup. There's the pinup to that, huh? Boy, these Marvel treasuries. I mean, you can't deny how incredible these things are. That's for sure. Number 4 came out still in 70. Nope, this is 75. This came out. It reprints Savage Conan 2 and 3, and as well as Conan the Barbarian 11. The interiors are actually by Barry Windsor Smith. And there's a 2-page map of the Hyborian Age on this book, which is right there's the back side of that. And there's the 2-page pinup. All right, number 5 is the Hulk. And this one reprints Hulk 3 out of the original series, Tales to Astonish 79, 100, and then Hulk 139 and 141, as well as Marvel Feature 11. This also has a Romita cover, and there's a Herb Trimp pinup in this book. There's the back of that. These pinups are a lot harder to find in these than the DC, but that's just stunning by Herb Trimp. All right, Doctor Strange is number 6. Came out in 75 still, I believe. Yep. This is a Frank Bruner cover, and it reprints Strange Tales 146, 148, Doctor Strange 170 and 177, as well as a Marvel Marvel Premiere 10. There's a pinup also by Frank Bruner in this. Oh, look at that Dormammu back cover. And there is the 2-page pinup. I think TiVo might like that. I know he's a big Doctor Strange fan. Mighty Avengers get theirs in number 7. Still came out in 75. This reprints Avengers 52, 57, 60, and 83. It's a pinup in here by John Buscema, and cover is by Kirby on this one. So there's the front. There's the back. Moondragon on that one, and the Beast. So these pinups are so much harder to find. I don't know why in these Marvels. I don't know, but this back page is pretty cool. There we go. Do that one there. Like I said, I don't have a lot of time to waste on these. The first of the Christmas specials from Marvel, number 8, came out in 75. This reprints Nick Fury 10, Luke Cage 7, Hulk 147, Doctor Strange 180, and Marvel Tales 19? I don't know. Here we go. Santa Claus with Luke Cage. This one here, I love this cover. Giant Superhero Team Up came out in 1975, I still think. This is a front cover by Gil Kane, and the back cover is by Romita. This reprints Submariner 8, Journey into Mystery 112, that one's on my hit list, Daredevil 43 and 55, as well as there's these quarter-page trading card-esque pinups after each story. So there's the back page. Look at that. Ain't that awesome? Let's see if we can find one of these. Here's the trading card-esque kite things. Alright, Thor, number 10, came out in 76. This is a cover by Kirby on this one, and this reprints Thor 154 through 157. This technically could be the first trade paperback. This, came out in 76, and it reprinted a whole storyline here of, this is Ulick, I think. So... All right, Fantastic Four, number 11. I love that cover. This came out in 76 still. This one reprints Fantastic Four 4, 23, 51, and 94. Also a cover by Kirby on this one. Gorgeous back cover on that one. One of my personal favorites, Howard the Duck, number 12. This one came out in 1976. This actually has an all-new The Duck and the Defenders, which also includes a Spider-Man appearance that was done by Gerber. This reprints also Howard the Duck 1 and Giant-Sized Man-Thing 3 and 4. It also has a Howard the Duck for President layout in this, so I think the back is just a... Oh, there's a... Yeah, it just shows you the back side. There's Know Your Candidate, unsolicited testimonials on him. Kind of cool. All right, this one here, Giant-Sized Superhero Holiday Grab Bag. This one reprints Fantastic Four, it reprints Marvel Team Up 6, Avengers 58, Tales to Astonish 58, and Daredevil 86. This also has an original story featuring the Fantastic Four versus the Avengers in a snowball fight. There's the back cover to that. All right, another Spider-Man one, the Sensational Spider-Man, number 14. This came out in 1977. It's a Gil Kane art, and it reprints Amazing Spider-Man 100 through 102, as well as Not Brand Eck number 6. So this will reprint the Morbius story, which is quite appropriate now. Look at that. That's pretty cool stuff. All right. Conan. I think this is the second Conan one. Number 15. Also came out in 77. This is a John Buscema cover. There's Barry Windsor Smith and Neil Adams art in here, as well as a Red Sonja pinup. And it reprints Conan the Barbarian 24, Savage Tales 4, and the Sword of Conan 2. See if we can find some of those Red Sonjas. Well, here's the back cover. There's one. Right there. All right, Defenders, one of my all-time favorite teams. This reprints, this is a Gil Kane cover, and it reprints Marvel Feature as well as Defenders 4, 13, and 14. There's a 2-page pinup by Keith Giffen in this one also. See if we can find that. First, we'll do the back. This ain't the pin up, but that's pretty cool. The Defender's base there. I don't know. Can't waste a lot of time on these, or I'm not going to have enough time to get this in 2 videos. Hulk comes back with number 17. This one came out in 1977. It reprints Hulk 121, 134, 150, and 158. There's the back of that. Oh, love that Swamp Thing right there. There's that Man Thing, excuse me. Swamp Thing. Screwing up my my companies there. All right, Astonishing Spider-Man. This came out in 1977, and it reprints Marvel Team Up 4, 12, 15, and 31. There's also Marie Severin puzzles and games in here, as well as 1970s TV shows photos. And the cover of this is done by Ernie Chan. And what it is, it's an homage to McCartney's Band on the Run cover for his album cover. There's the TV pic. Remember that TV show, Spider-Man TV show? There we go, Marie Severin. There you go. You get your shot of fame there. Conan again. They loved Conans in the treasuries. This came out in 1978. It reprints Savage Sword 4 and 6, and it's a John Buscema cover. And there's let's see the back of this right here. I think there's a pin-up in this one. There's a bunch of different stuff there. All right, Hulk again, the rampaging Hulk this time, going off against Dr. Doom. This is number 20, came out in 1979, reprints Hulk 136, 137, 143, and 144. And there's the back side. And Supposed to be a pinup in this. Let's see if we can find it. No. Sorry. All right, Fantastic Four. Here's a Galactus one. Look at that. This obviously reprints Fantastic Four 120 through 123. This is a Bob McLeod and Bob Budiski cover. Came out in 1979. Here's the back cover. Here's a Galactus page for you. Look at that, huh? Oh, that is awesome stuff. Number 22. This is 1979, The Sensational Spider-Man. It reprints Marvel Team Up 13, 19, 20, and 21. The cover is by Joe Sinod and Bob Budin. I'm not going to pronounce that. Budinsky, I believe it is again. I know I'm butchering that, but look at the back side of that, huh? Gorgeous stuff. Here's a splash page for you with dinosaurs. All right, Conan again, number 23. This came out in 1979. It has a Ernie Chan pinup, and this reprints Savage Swords 4 and 5. And there's, ooh, look at that back cover, huh? There's some pinups in here. Alright, number 24, another Hulk. This reprints Hulk 175 through 178. This also has an original Hercules story that is in this one here. This one's pretty beat up. This one was one of my originals. Budiski cover again. And a nice pin up here. One here, the Superman and Hulk in the Winter Olympics, number 25. This came out in 1980. The back cover on this is by Bill Sienkiewicz. It's an original story by Herb Trimpe, and who actually makes an appearance in this with his wife in the story. And Bill Mantlo also was in this. Worked on this. There's the back page of this by Sienkiewicz. Number 25, the Hulk again, or 26, they love the Hulk. This came out in 1980, reprints Hulks 167 through 170. This has that infamous Betty Ross naked scene in here when she's a harpy. And then it also has an original Wolverine and Hercules story by George Perez. By Beast right there. Yeah, when that Betty Ross as a harpy came out, I remember how that just caused shockwaves. I don't even know if I can find that. If I was smart, I would have just postmarked these, but... Yeah, here's, I think this was it right here that was causing all the commotion when it first came out. Back in 19, well, back before then, 1970s, you didn't see stuff like that. Then Sensational Spider-Man number 27 also came out in 1980. Reprints Marvel Team Up 9, 11, and 27. It also has an original Angels story by Mr. Anderson, and a 2-page pinup preview special for Spidey Annuals 1 and 2. There's the back cover with Kang and the Inhumans. Well, can't find these sometimes. I don't know why. My fingers just don't work as well as they used to. Spider-Man and Superman. This is came out in 1981. It's number 28. It's the last one of the originals. This is a Bob Larkin cover, and Wonder Woman makes an appearance in here too. This is the second time Superman and Spider-Man team up. Look at that. Wouldn't you love to see that? Superman taking on the Hulk and Wonder Woman taking on Spidey. That would be awesome. All right, so that's the original 28. Now the next set that came out was 6 issues, and those were called Marvel Special Edition. And the first one that came out was this one here, Captain America Bicentennial Battles. This ran from, came out in 1976, and it is an original story by Jack Kirby, and the inkers include Trimp, Romita, Barry Windsor Smith, and it also has a Cap throughout the ages pinup on this. Find that pinup. Oh, here we go. They're just different pictures. That's right. Here's one right here. That sort of a thing. And I screwed up. I did it out of order here. Here's the actual first one. This came out in 1974. This actually came out the same year as the number 1, that Spectacular Spider-Man, that red cover one. They came out at the same time pretty much, but for some reason they called these the special one. And what this did is it reprinted Marvel Team Up number 1, Daredevil 7, Fantastic Four 25 and 26, as well as Amazing Adventures 5. This also had a special pullout, and like I said, it came out at the same time as number 1 of the original series. There's the back cover. Boy, I just cannot find these. Oh well. Okay. Number 3 is the Savage Fists of Kung Fu. This came out in 1975, and it reprints Deadly Hands of Kung Fu 1 and 2, Special 1 of Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, and Marvel Special Edition 15. It's Gil Kane, John Romita cover, and it reprints the UK covers. A lot of these reprinted on the back page. They would reprint the original covers. This one actually reprinted the UK covers. Yeah, right there. So look at the back cover on that one. All right, Spectacular Spider-Man. This came out in 1975. This is Marvel. This reprints Amazing Spider-Man 6, 35, and Annual 1, and it has a John or a Romita Spidey family pinup in this. See if we can find that. There's the back cover. There we go, I think. You'd think they put these in the middle, but for some reason they don't on the Marvel ones like they did with the DC. All right, here is the next one. This came out in 1978, and it is the Close Encounters of the Third Kind. This is actually a Whitman version too. It just reprinted, it put into comic form the movie that was a big hit back then. There's the back cover. This one is Battlestar Galactica. It's the Marvel Super Special, even though it was lumped in with the special edition. This came out in 1978. It's an Ernie Colin art in this one here. Obviously reprints the show, comic form of that. One of my personal favorites, G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. Reprint, there's the back page. That's, I think, actually cooler. This reprints the number 1 of G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. And now, as I mentioned back in DC, that the Superman and Spider-Man, they were the first Marvel-owned and DC-owned character crossover. This was actually the first Marvel and DC collaboration. This is the Marvelous Wizard of Oz. This came out in 1975, and it has Roy Thomas, John Buscema, and Tony DeZungia art in this. And like I said, it's the first ever Marvel DC crossover. So, you know, think about all the history in these treasuries. The first ever Marvel DC collaboration, the first ever Marvel DC character crossover, the first ever, you know, the Superman Muhammad Ali. There's so many great treasuries, just great. Now, that first Wizard of Oz was such a success that they decided to do a second one, which can't remember when this. I think this, yeah, same year, 1975. There's the back cover. All right, then started the Star Wars. This came out in 1977. This reprints Star Wars 1, 2, and 3. Basically, that's it. These were just all reprints in these. And in fact, there's number 2, Whitman version of that. This reprinted 3 through 6, I believe. 4 through 6, excuse me. And there's the back cover. And then what's really ironic is that number 3, which I'm not going to take out of the bag, actually is technically the first Marvel Treasury reprint, because it reprinted the treasuries of 1 and 2. So, I don't know. I guess they were milking it for what it was. And then lastly, the biggest one of the Star Wars, this The Empire Strikes Back. This came out in 1980, and this has the credit of the first Yoda and the first the first Yoda. Just saw him. Where'd he go? There we go. Look at Yoda. I don't know if you can see that, but that is Yoda. So the first time Yoda ever shows up, technically is in the pocketbook, but they credit that too. Then here you go, ETA Nick, the Smurfs. This is just part of the Miscellaneous stuff that came out ways after. I think this came out in 1980. This reprints Smurfs 1, 2, and 3. There's the back cover. I think it's 1980 in this. Well, 82, excuse me, 1982. And this just shows you that they still make treasuries to this day. This is Guardians of the Galaxy. This came out, when did this come out? This came out in 2017, and it reprints Guardian of the Galaxy 2008 volume number 1, Guardian of the Galaxy 2013 volume number 1, point 1 and number 1, Rocket Raccoon out of 2014 number 1, and it's Brian. It has art in here by Brian Michael Bendis and Scotty Young, as well as a few others. And here's a couple of my miscellaneous. King Kong, I touched on this earlier. This came out in 1968, so this is my earliest Treasury. Could be the earliest Treasury for all I know. And it just it's comic format of the movie. Here's one. Enormous. I think this just got brought up in a CBSI or somebody brought it up. Enormous Treasury. It reprints, I think, issues 1 and 2 on this in giant format. And then the last one is Danger Girl. This is a J. Scott Campbell cover, and it reprints Danger Girl number 1. So, whew, a lot of treasuries here. I got about a minute to end this. So once again, I mean, you may not like treasuries or find that they're hard to collect, store, that sort of a thing, but you cannot excuse the significance and the comic history. They're not as popular, but they're still being made to this date. There's a Rick and Morty one out there. There's a Rocketeer one, quite a few others, but this is my feeble attempt at showing you my treasury collection, and this is I think I got over 90 of them done in two vids, so that's pretty good. So thank you so much for taking this journey. This is Vin Crew signing off.